In our study of the frequency response of this RC circuit, we saw that the transfer function, if written in this form, and where for this particular circuit omega naught was equal to 1 over RC, this was a pole for this circuit or a critical frequency. Then we from this h of s, by putting s is equal to j omega, we can find the relationship for the transfer function, that how it depends on the radian frequency. We have assumed that sigma is 0, so there is no damping and the input is pure sinusoidal. So this transfer function basically is showing how the input sinusoid will be transferred to the output sinusoid, and the dependence of the system response on omega. Then since h of j omega is a complex quantity, therefore we found its magnitude and its phase by these expressions. For okay, and we found that this RC circuit, when the output is to be taken across C, is actually a low pass filter with cutoff frequency 1 over RC. And remember, a cutoff frequency is the frequency where the transfer function is 1 by under root 2 times. By definition, cutoff frequency is the frequency. So if we find h of j omega at omega c, then the magnitude is 1 over under root 2 times the max value of h of j omega magnitude. We can find this h j omega max by taking the derivative of h of j omega magnitude with respect to omega and then putting omega is equal to 0. You can do this as an exercise for your own self. It should not be difficult, but you can find that if we do this step, we are going to find omega is equal to 0. So when you put omega is equal to 0 in this h of j omega, then we find that h of 0 is the value of h of j omega max, and that is equal to 1 over 1, that is 1. So for this particular question, h of j omega c would be equal to 1 over under root 2, because this is 1, and this gives the resonant frequency. The bandwidth, the width of the pass band is equal to omega c as well, because for a low pass filter the pass band is from 0 to omega c. So the width would be omega c minus 0, that is omega c. So if you redo this all this problem as I have indicated in the past videos, if instead of the output to be taken across the C, you take it across R, put R here and C here, then you will find that the filter allows, let me write this here for you. You will do it yourself, but let me just give you the result so that you can verify whether you have done it correctly or not. So if you take output here and the input stays here, so now if we have a C here and an R here, then you should verify that this is a high pass filter. A high pass filter, in contrast to a low pass filter, in the ideal world, a high pass filter would have a cutoff frequency such that the frequencies before it do not pass and the frequencies after it can pass. So this is the pass band now, and this is the stop band. This, we are plotting the idealized magnitude response against omega. So before omega c, the frequencies are stopped and these are passed. So the cutoff frequency remains the same by definition. The definition of cutoff frequency is universal. This does not relate to low pass filter only. It is a universal definition. So if we do the same steps for the high pass filter, we will see that the cutoff frequency for this filter is still 1 over RC, and it is also going to be a pole or a critical frequency. You can work the transfer function out. I think the transfer function for this circuit, this configuration, would work out to be something like S over 1 plus S over omega naught. I'm not sure, this may be S over omega naught here as well, and 1 plus S over omega naught, but we are going to have an S term in the numerator, so there will be a 0 at S is equal to 0 and a pole at omega naught. In fact, a pole would be at minus omega naught, because this is important. So this is actually the pole would be at minus 1 over RC, and minus 1 over RC would be a critical frequency. So this is a transfer function for a high pass filter, which again would be an RC circuit. Okay, now we come to how to plot the magnitude and pole. So plot of magnitude response and phase response. This is important and you should carefully learn it. It's very simple, and I will try to describe it in detail. But if you go through my description, you will later see that the actual drawing of the responses is quite simple. Okay, so basically actually I paused for Azan to complete. Let's get back. The target now is to be able to plot the magnitude response for the low pass filter we are discussing. You will do the same for the high pass filter case and try to develop your understanding. If you do these steps by using pen and paper yourself, and the best thing would be to go through my lectures, completely understand them, and then redo this problem completely. And if you can describe to you yourself that all the things that you have done, then it means you can understand, you have understood, and that is what is required. So 1 over square root of 1 plus omega over omega naught. This is to be plotted. So how would we plot this? Obviously we need to draw some values. So let us take the values of omega here and find the value of the magnitude response here. Let me take some values. So let us say if omega is equal to 0, then we are going to have 0, 1 over 1, that would be 1. We have already seen this. What if we take omega to be equal to omega naught? Since omega naught for this circuit is not known, so instead of taking values like 1, 2, 3, etc., 110, I am taking all the values of omega in terms of omega naught, because then we are going to have a value here, and for any type of circuit with any omega naught, we would know how things would be. So if omega is equal to omega naught over omega naught will be 1, and we are going to have 1 over under root 2. We have already seen this, which is equal to 0.707, etc., almost equal to this thing. Okay, so what if we have half omega is equal to half of omega naught? Then we are going to have omega is equal to omega naught by 2 by omega naught. So we are going to have 1/2 here. So the square of 0.5 is 0.25. We are going to have 1 over under root 1.25. We can calculate this to see that this would be 0.894. And omega naught, what about omega naught over 10? So we are going to have 0.1 here. 0.1 square is 0.01. We are going to have 1 over 1.01. That is going to be something close to 1, like 0.995. What about if we have omega is equal to twice of omega naught? The twice of omega naught is going to have 2 here. 2 square would be 4. 1 over under root 5 would be something like 0.447. What about 10 times omega naught? 10 square would be 100. 1 over 101 would be something like 0.099, and so on. You can take up other values. Say 100 times omega naught would be 1 over 10001, because this would be 100 square would be 10,000 plus 1, 10,000 plus 1, and that would be something like 0.01, 0.0099, something actually almost equal to this thing. So if we try to plot this, if we try to plot these values which are all positive, so if we have omega here and say this is omega naught, and we have 1 here and 0 here, obviously 0.5 here, 0.75 here, 0.25 here. So at omega naught we had 0.707 here, so something less than this thing, and at half of this frequency, so if this is at omega equal to 0, so this would be omega naught by 2. Omega naught by 2, we are going to have something like 0.9 here. And what about omega naught by 10? So we would have something like close to 1. And what about 2 times omega naught? So we are going to have this here, 0.5, a little less than 0.5. And about 10 times omega naught is very difficult to draw, because if this is omega naught, we are going to have 10 times this, and then at that point we are going to be close to this 0 axis. So it is going down actually. It would be something like this. So it's going down and gradually, in fact, slowing down the rate of going down. So this would be a low pass filter with cutoff frequency at 0.707 if the max value is at 1, and for a low pass filter the max value is usually at 0, omega is equal to 0. Here we saw that we cannot easily plot higher values. What if I am interested in knowing what is the value at 10 omega naught and what is the value at 100 omega naught? It's not very easy to make a scale. So if in order to have this 10 omega naught in this scale, I would have to have 10 omega naught here, for example, then omega naught would be here, and 10 times less than that thing is going to be basically quite constricted in this small place. So if I try to draw the frequencies that are of low value, then I cannot accurately represent on the same graph the higher frequency values. And if I bring the higher frequencies to be drawn in this scale, then I cannot basically accurately or correctly represent the lower frequencies. So this puts us in a problem. There is a solution to this problem that a scientist named Bode, we will write his name as Bode, Bode. He basically developed a mechanism to be able to solve this problem, that both the lower frequencies and the higher frequencies can be represented on a graph paper in a reasonable size, and to be able to see the effect on both the lower frequencies and the higher frequencies. So we are going to look at the Bode magnitude plot. Now, the Bode said, instead of plotting h of j omega magnitude, let us plot the 20 log of this thing. So this would be on the y-axis. So here we are trying to plot the magnitude response against omega. Bode said, plot 20 log of h of j omega, and plot this omega on a logarithmic scale. So this is a linear scale where if this is omega naught, then the half of this distance is omega naught by 2, and 1/10 is omega naught by 10. This is a linear scale. So if this is omega naught, twice this is going to be 2 omega naught, and so on. This is a linear scale. Bode said, if we take a logarithmic scale for omega, it can be done in two ways. Either on a linear graph, we, instead of plotting omega, we plot log of omega, or we keep this omega as omega, but the scale actually is taken to be logarithmic. In a linear scale, the specific length, same length on the graph shows same difference in values. On a logarithmic scale, same length shows same ratio in between values. So let me just elaborate what does this really mean. So if we have this point at, say, omega naught, then remember, on a logarithmic scale there is no zero, and if we say this length shows a ratio between of 2, that is, if this is omega naught by 2, so this much length shows an increase by 2, or twice this value, then the same length here is going to show a twice increase here as well. So this would be 2 omega naught, and the same length here would represent 4 omega naught, and so on. So 8 omega naught and 16 omega naught, and here it would be omega naught by 4, and here omega naught by 8, and here omega naught by 16, and it will continue forever, and 0, omega is equal to 0 will be at minus infinity. So omega is equal to 0 is not there on this scale. So I hope you understood this scale, by the way. If you go to the market and you ask for a graph paper, there are several types of graph papers available, but you have seen the linear graph paper till now. If you go or Google this, you can download a semi-log graph paper. Then there are log graph papers as well. So in a 2D graph, there are two axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. So if both of these axes are linear, we call it a linear or linear graph paper. If one of the axes is logarithmic and the other is linear, this is known as the semi-log graph paper that we are going to use here. And if this is logarithmic and this is logarithmic as well, that is called a logarithmic graph paper. So if you buy this semi-log graph paper or download it from the internet, I will share one with you. You will see that on the y-axis it has linear scales, so the scales are marked equidistant like this. And if this is taken to be 0 and you say this is 10, then this would be 20 and this would be 30 and so on. So this is a linear scale. The same distance represents the same difference. But on this scale, this would not be like this. So what we would do, we would use this y-axis to plot this value, that is 20 log of h of j omega magnitude, and Bode labeled this as h in dB. dB is a unit attributed to this quantity, 20 log of something, and the units are taken to be dB. So basically we plot h in dBs here on the y-axis, and on the x-axis we will plot omega, but the scale would be logarithmic. So it would be something like this. It will be something like this. So you will see 9 such lines, and then this pattern will repeat. So this my distance will appear again here, this distance here, and so on. So basically this keeps on these keeps on shrinking by a logarithmic scale. And how do we scale these? So while we can scale here in the y-axis like with any scale that we choose to draw, this is just an example that I am giving. Here you would choose some omega naught that is of interest to you. It varies with circuit to circuit. So whatever that omega naught is, let us say we put this on this line. So let us call this omega naught, this one before this bigger gap. Then we will mark this one as omega naught by 10. So because there are 9 lines here or 10 sections, this would be omega naught by 10. And the similar point after 10 lines, so I have not drawn all because they will shrink with time, and it's not easy for me to draw without a ruler and proper scale. We will mark this as 10 times omega naught, and after a similar distance here we are going to have 100 times omega naught, and after a similar distance to this side we would be going to have an omega naught by this was 10/100. So you see the same distance preserves the same ratio. So this distance, which is a change of 10 times, so this change of 10 times, if you go from here to here, it is an increase by 10 times. If you come back from here to here, it is a decrease by 10 times. This distance is known as a decade, 10 times difference. And if you look at these two lines being marked, then this distance, the largest the largest distance seen on a semi-log graph paper is a distance of 2 times. So this would be omega naught, this would be omega naught by 10. Sorry, if this is omega naught, this is omega naught by 10. This is 2 times this value. And this distance of 2 times has a name, and it is called an octave. 10 times a decade, 2 times an octave. So if this is omega naught by 5, this would again be 2 times omega naught by 5, and or we can say this would be 2 by 10, this would be 4 by 10, this would be oh no, sorry, I have committed a mistake. To mark the point of 2 omega naught by 5, it has to be this distance away. So this distance would be maybe something like here. So this would be marked as 2 omega naught by 5, and similar distance away it would be 4 omega naught by 5 and then omega naught. So how are these scales basically marked? If this is, say, let me just take an example. If this is 100, so omega naught is 100, then 10 times less this point would be 100. Sorry, this is 100, this is 10. This would not be 11, 12 and 13 so on. We have to reach up to 100 here. So this is 2 times. So this would be 20, 30. This line is not 2 times. So this will be 40. No, this is 2 times of 20. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and then 100. And then 9 lines away, this would be 1000. And then 10 such lines away, it would be 10 raised to the power 4 and 10 raised to the power 5 and so on. And here it is 10 raised to the power 2, it is 10 raised to the power 1, and here it would be the same distance away. Here it would be 10 raised to the power 0 or 1. So if this is 1 here, we would have 2 here and 3 here and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20, no, it's not 11, 12, that's very important. 10, 10, 20, 30 and here 100. Then this would be 200, not 110 and so on. This is 300. So if this is 1000, we are going to have 2000 here. This distance is of 2 times anywhere. It's 2 times the difference, the ratio should be the same. I hope you have understood what the graph would look like. While you may think that it is quite cluttered up here, but you can always, and this is just in the description, I will show clear graphs when I am going to draw the graphs. But let me just complete this thing here. So if I draw a column here, and let us take the log of this magnitude and write it here, and then take another column and write the 20 log quantity here. Let us see what these values are. So the log of 1 is 0, log to the base 10 is 0. The log of 0.995 is something like 0. We can have the exact value. Let me do it on the calculator. It is 0.002 something, and then 0.894 is this value is in negative, so this would be negative 0.0487, etc. 0.707 would be minus 0.151. This would be minus 0.35. So it is increasing in the negative side, or say it's decreasing, minus 0. Around -1, and this would be -2, and 1000 omega naught would have -3 here, because we are going to have 0.001, and so on. So if we multiply 20 with this, we are going to have 0 here. 20 multiplied with this one would be something close to like -1, and 20 multiplied with this thing would be something like, no, a multiplication of this with 20 would be something close to 0 actually. Multiplication of this thing with 20 would be something like -1, and this would be -3, and multiplication of this with 20 would be something like -7, and 21 is -20, -40, and -60, and so on, if the increment is of 10 times. We should have actually one row here of 1000 omega naught to see that it will be -3 here and -60 here. So the magnitude plot, when you are plotting HDB, let me now take a graph, and because these values are in negative, I am drawing this 0 line here. So this is 0. Let us say this is -10, -20, -30, -40. So we have this scale here. So this scale is linear. Once again, let me tell you, the scale is linear, but the values that we are plotting are logarithmic. Here we are plotting the real values, but the scale itself is nonlinear. Now when I am drawing this, I am assuming this to be omega naught, and I am taking this to be omega naught by 10, and this to be the same distance as omega naught by 100. I have not taken that value here, but just assume this. And if this is omega naught, this is omega naught by 10, omega naught by 2 would be somewhere, if this is a difference of 10 times, omega naught by 2 may be something like this. So this is omega naught by 2. This is 2 times omega naught. The same distance here would be 10 times omega naught. The same distance here would be 100 times omega naught, and so on. So let us plot these values. So at omega naught by 10, we have close to 0, this point. At omega naught by 2, we have -1. So if this is -10, we are close to 0. And at omega naught, we are close to -3. 2 omega naught, we are at -7. 10 times omega naught, we are at -20. 100 times omega naught, we are at -40. And then same distance here at -60. So this is quite linear in this part. In this part, it becomes sort of a straight line going with the same slope. And it is 0 here. For smaller frequencies, it would be 0. It cannot go beyond this. So here it starts moving downward like this. So this is an accurate depiction of, quite an accurate drawing of HDB. And this is still not Bode plot. This is actually a magnitude plot. Now let us turn to what Bode contributed in this magnitude plot. Bode had very important contribution. Now look at this thing. Bode said this frequency, these critical frequencies that occur over the poles and the poles especially and the zeros as well, they contribute to the shape of the magnitude plot. And Bode said we can, instead of drawing and taking several values and drawing an accurate depiction of this curve, this can be approximated. So let us have another column here just to indicate that we have an approximation here. So let me write Bode here. Bode said for omega is equal to omega naught, a critical frequency or a pole, for example, this value, the previous values for all the frequencies less than omega naught can be considered to be approximated to this zero. So you see it is 0 here, is 0 here. For omega naught by 10, it's 0. For omega naught by 100, it would be 0. Omega naught by 100,000, it would be 0. So let us approximate all these values till 0. And for very small values, it is 0. And for very large values, you can see that we have developed this straight line equation. So for 10 times omega naught, it is minus 20. For 100 times omega naught, it is minus 40. For 1000 times omega naught, it is minus 60, minus 80, and so on. So basically, it's a straight line here, is a straight line here at 0. So we have a, let me change the color of the pen just to mark this approximation. So Bode said we are experiencing that for lower frequencies, it is this straight line. And for higher frequencies, it is this straight line. It is this straight line. So where would this intersect? Where would these two straight lines, if we make this straight line and if we extend this backward, where would this intersect? Although I have drawn a very rough graph, but you see it approximately intersected at omega naught. So this was what Bode said. Bode said at omega naught, we can take this to be a corner point. So the line before this would be 0, and the line after this would be marked according to a straight line with a slope of minus 20 dB per decade. So in one decade, it decreases. This minus says it decreases by the value decreases by 20. So in one decade, the value decreases by 20. In the next decade, the same thing is going to happen, and we would be at minus 60, and so on. So this is a straight line with a slope minus 20 dB per decade, and this minus is because this term is in the denominator, is a pole, so it is coming down. Now you can understand that if the same term would have been in the numerator, this graph would be going upward, and we would have a line here with a slope that is 20 plus 20 dB per decade for a 0 in h of s or h of j omega, and it would again be here, and before that it would be 0. So this was the approximate, this part is the approximate Bode magnitude plot, and this was a big contribution. Now if I get back, now you can see it is very simple to draw the same transfer function according to Bode approximate plot. So we would say let us take this to be omega naught, then if this is omega naught by 10, and this is 10 times omega naught, this is 100 times omega naught, and this is omega naught by 100, and so on, then whatever this frequency you have marked is, before that you just mark it as a straight line up till this point omega naught, and then after this point we go down with a slope of minus 20 dB per decade. So we are at minus 40 and so on. So this is a slope of minus 20 dB per decade. So by just looking at this approximate graph, we can very easily see that this is a low pass filter, because for lower frequencies the HDB is higher valued, and as the frequency increases it start decreasing. So it is a low pass filter, does not allow the higher frequencies to pass. I hope you get a glimpse of how the Bode magnitude plot would be plotted. In the next lecture, I will cover the phase plot, and that is much easier than this to draw. And then we will look at several general transfer functions based magnitude response, magnitude plots, the Bode magnitude plot. And then we will also look at a correction. In fact, let me discuss that correction thing right here. So this graph is known as the approximate Bode magnitude plot. This is the approximate plot. It does not exactly tell about how the actual would look like. And if you see about the actual, I started with the actual one, then I told you how to draw the approximate one. But if you see, the maximum deviation of the actual one from the approximate one is at omega naught. So at omega naught, the value was minus 3 dB, not 0. So a correction proposed by Bode was, that at omega is equal to that critical frequency omega naught, if it is in the denominator, you put a correction of minus 3 dB. So instead of, so draw the approximate one, and based on your scale, choose what is minus 3 on this scale and put a point here. And instead of that approximate one, when you have to make it a smooth curve, draw something that passes through this minus 3 dB point. So this would, with this single correction, the actual response that you draw passing through this corrected point would look much similar to the actual magnitude response. So we will look at several other magnitude responses, but before that we would look at the phase plot for this particular example, and then we will look at another topic, and then we will look at more plots, and that basically would end the syllabus as well.